Pizza time.
Hey, what's up? Long time no talk, YouTube. I hope you're all doing well. Sorry for the lapse in uploads recently. Life's been pretty hectic for me as of late. Between starting my new job, moving into an apartment, going on vacation, and most importantly, getting my internet set up, I've been one busy lad. However, now that I'm settled in and my connection is stable, I'm more ready than ever to deliver some good Pizza Parker content. And what better way to get things swinging again other than revisiting the game y'all seem to like the most? Please tell me those views weren't just from me. And hey, if they weren't, maybe consider subscribing to the channel for more Pizza Parker goodness. Can't believe I actually just did that. Regardless, we've got some demons to kill. With some new DLC having been released to continue or end the Doomslayer saga, it's time to dust off the suit and resharpen the blade as we slay our way back into things. Without further ado, let's review Doom Eternal, the Ancient Gods DLC. Hot off the heels of Doom Eternal's main campaign, the Ancient Gods picks up shortly after the Icon of Sin's defeat and the halting of Hell's invasion on Earth. With the Con Maker having been killed in the process of it all, a power vacuum is left for the taking that the demons quickly exploit. Now all of creation is at risk. Looking to put an end to the war he's fought for so long, Doomguy aims to take the Hellspawn down for good by destroying the very ruler of their realm, the Dark Lord. The stakes are the highest they'll ever be, and with 6 new levels that lead you on a journey to determine the fate of existence, to the multitude of different enemies introduced throughout, and a difficulty spike that evokes the pressure of this last effort, you feel the weight of the task at hand. Or I did at least. After serving a brief penance, I was right back to ripping and tearing as per usual, but with a little extra pep in my step. You get a lot thrown at you in this DLC, and the game demands you to move and think faster than ever before. From the moment you step foot on that first level, you're thrusted back into the world of Doom with an onslaught degree and a series of marauders to welcome you home. And that's just the first level alone, but it sets the tone for the final mission that carries over the course of the entire expansion. I just wish it wasn't so jarring from a story perspective. I know that this is a continuation of the Doom Eternal story, but with such a climactic finale being told, I just wish that there was more to build up to it besides a title crawl that does little besides give you spark notes on what we should have experienced and not read. The story trying to be told in the Ancient Gods just feels like it should be its own standalone game, and not a DLC, where it could have been fleshed out and developed more. I think a narrative with as much scale as this would have really benefited from it, especially now that we're going up against the ruler of all things demonic and have a central antagonist we can face to end it all. I just don't think what appears to be the ending of the Doomslayer's tale should have been wrapped up in a DLC. Still, the Ancient Gods tells a story that is far from bad and is actually really quite entertaining, especially that scene they totally stole from Avengers Endgame. You can't help but get amped. Nevertheless, we all know why we're really here. I've been on record saying the main reason you buy a Doom game is for the gameplay, and that's absolutely the case here. In fact, the gameplay in the Ancient Gods DLC is the best it's ever been in a Doom game, and I think that's due to how pressured you are. There is a level of intensity present across the board, and that intensity is played up in a number of ways to keep the gameplay from feeling repetitive and stagnant. The best way the Ancient Gods combats this is with the new demons. Now, besides having fresh faces to kill, the best part about these newcomers is not only how they change the flow of combat with their unique attacks, but also how they encourage the use of weapon mods that didn't get used much previously. For instance, the spirits that require the microwave beam to be killed effectively, the full auto mode for the stone imps, or the remote detonation for the riot shield guys. While Doom Eternal already had great gun balance, the Ancient Gods makes it even better, by making certain weapon mods more useful. In addition to the even greater weapon balance is the Sentinel Hammer that takes the spot of the previous campaign's Crucible. Dealing an AoE stun effect, the hammer allows you to chain together different attacks and deal massive damage, reaping ammo, armor, and health in the process. I really like how it has to be charged up to be used too, and I wish that the Crucible would have followed suit with this. It would have felt more rewarding to have your hard work paid off by having it count towards something like charging the Crucible, instead of having to wait around for an item to charge it. It's always best to give the player as many tools as possible, that way what happens is dependent on them and not the game. Fortunately, what we are dependent on the game are levels, which are pretty great. My favorite was the second level called Blood Swamps. I really enjoyed the tower defense part of the mission as it was something different. And really, there's a lot in these DLC levels that feels different. There were some unique challenges, interesting arena layouts, and sections that you could just tell were put there for you to have fun. Like the meat hook grapple points, the parkour sections in general. They're so good. The levels just feel like they were a little experimental, and I appreciated that. However, there was just one thing that really disappointed me with these levels. The music. Simply put, I miss Mick Gordon. While his replacement, Andrew Holschel, which I totally just butchered the name of, does a fine job, I can't say that there were many, if any, tracks that really stuck out to me and grabbed me as much as Mick's did. It's a bit of an unfair comparison, but you can't help but notice when their work is in the same game. Still, what is there is enough to get the blood boiling and the adrenaline moving. I just wish that there was a little more variety and it all didn't sound so similar. There is promise in some of his tracks though, and if you've ever played Dusk, you'd know that. We'll just have to see where things go in the future. Actually, we'll have to see where everything goes in the future, as, at the end of this DLC, it concludes with the Dark Lord's defeat and the Slayer's return to the tomb he woke from back in the 2016 reboot. While I have my qualms with the way the story is told in such a short amount of time, I do think it wraps up quite nicely. Though, I'm unsure where things will go next, after killing what I can only imagine is the biggest bad of them all. But only time will tell. Overall, The Ancient Gods is a fun and challenging send-off for Doom Eternal. While not quite as good in some areas as the base game, the gameplay experience offered here improves on the core designs and remains unmatched in the FPS genre. Doom Eternal's The Ancient Gods DLC gets a B+. Till we meet again, Slayer, goodbye for now.